Hey, I'm Ollie and I am the training and onboarding manager here, and this video is about how to take a really cracking external. Externals are the first thing that a potential client is going to see. It's also the hero shot for pretty much every estate agent. It's also the first shot that is on Rightmove and Zoopla and some of the other portals like Prime Location. The other reason why it matters is if there isn't an external, some clients that are looking might get a little bit suspicious as to why there isn't a front shot. So definitely key to grab a really good external. Stand as far away from the property as possible. This is generally on the other side of the road. The reason being for that is that you can get the top of the property in, you can also get a little bit of road, but when it comes down to editing, if it is too far away, you can always crop in and get that right image. The second quick tip is that if you do have a tripod, fully extend the legs all the way to the top, so it's really high. So this will get you a nice level camera so that all of the lines on the edge of the property are nice and vertical and not wobbly or looking in really weird shapes and making the house look weird. If you don't, just make sure that you are at a nice high angle, holding the camera nice and straight or as straight as possible to get a really good image. Make sure that the property that you are taking a photograph of is right in the middle of the frame. Sometimes you have no clue on a road full of houses which house you are actually trying to market, but if you get it bang in the middle, generally everyone will go straight for the middle. In regards to angles as well, try and experiment with your angles. This is really good for end of terrace houses, pretty much to show the depth of the house and how big it is, but definitely try a few angles. Even if it isn't an end of terrace house, you might have some beautiful trees, really nice scenery, so play around and see what works for you. Having converging lines, which is basically you looking from an ant's perspective and it looks more like a triangle than it does a square or a house, that's generally because you are tilting the camera upwards, so doing this kind of motion. So looking at coming all the way back and getting the camera dead on straight as you possibly can to get those verticals nice and lined up is definitely a key. Waiting for the traffic to pass, because no one likes a white van rushing past when you're about to take the perfect image. And another big one is move those bins. No one wants to see the rubbish overflowing on an external, so hide it behind some cars, move it out of shot, bring it with you to the other side of the road if you have the time and it's quiet, but definitely move the bins, and with those tips you will get an absolutely cracking external. So the big problem with externals which you might come across is sun flare. Now, sun flare is where the sun is actually pointing directly into your camera and it would be behind the property, and it's really annoying because you get all of these weird funky looking effects. So to avoid some of this, best thing to do is try and reposition yourself. Take the angled shot, maybe go to the other side of where you're taking an angled shot and take it from there so the sun isn't directly glaring into your camera. However, I know that sometimes it can be avoidable, so another quick win that you can actually do, if you are taking a straight on shot, just put your hand over the sun and that will pretty much eliminate any sun flare, and we can obviously remove that in post for you. Remember to extend the tripod legs fully so you don't get that tilting camera problem. You get all of the verticals nice and straight as opposed to converging and meeting at the top. Don't stand too close to the property so you get the full property in from the roof right down to the pavement, and also allow for a little bit of sky. And also move the bins. The bins are a big one. Don't want any remnants of last night's party coming up in the property photography. So here are some more quick tips for your checklist when taking an external. So make sure that you frame it up really well. You want it in the middle of the frame, so you know which one or which property you are actually marketing. Another good one is to explore the angles. Again, the sun flare, unavoidable sometimes, so definitely explore the angles there. have a look at, going to the other side and taking an angled shot. Another good one, definitely try and miss out any cars that are zooming past on the road. You don't want any traffic, but the most important one is always take the exterior. Remember, that is your hero shot and is what the people will see first.